During long aerobic exercises, there are two processes where we can gain energy from: the Krebs cycle and the electron
The
transport
Krebs
chain.
cycle has 10 to 12 steps, starting with 2-pyruvate. The first step is that NAD becomes NADH and CO2 enters, making acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA loses its coenzyme CoA and becomes citrate. Citrate then goes through a conatase, which rearranges the carbons and makes isocitrate. Isocitrate goes through isocitrate dehydrogenase, losing a hydrogen and making NAD and CO2, making a cataglucinate. Cataglucinate goes through cataglucinate dehydrogenase, losing a hydrogen to make NADH, using H2O, and makes CO2, forming a salicylate-CoA. Salicylate-CoA goes through salicylate-CoA synthesis, which loses a phosphate, making GDP convert to GTP, forming ADP to get ATP, losing CO2 and making succinate. Succinate goes through succinate dehydrogenate, which is where FAD goes to FADH, creating fermate. Fermate goes through fermase, losing hydrogen to create malate. Malate goes through malate dehydrogenase, where NAD becomes NADH, making oxalate. Oxalate goes through where it adds water to form citrate synthesis to start the cycle over. The electric transport chain has 4 steps. The first step is where FADH and NADH enters the inner mitochondrial membrane at complex 1, NADH dehydrogenase, which goes through and leaves NAD and the 2 hydrogens leaving through the FMN and the electron moving to CoQ. CoQ carries the electrons from complex 1 to complex 2 at the same time of pushing FADH2 to make FAD, having those 2 hydrogen move out as well. The second complex, where 2 hydrogen move out of complex 2, cytochrome BC1, which moves the electron to site B and then moves it to site C. Then site C at the same time taking 2 hydrogen, moving them out, making 6 outside. Site C then sends the electron to site A in the complex 3, cytochrome oxidase, where it moves down to site A1 and finds 2 hydrogen and half oxygen to create H2O. The last step, the 6 hydrogen on the outside, are brought to complex 4, where it goes through ADP synthesis, forming 3 ADP, which then combined into 3 phosphate to create 3 ATP.